Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the phone. Are you telling me that in the other countries, waves have been taking place? I mean, it was pretty much stated in this episode, but there's just so many things to think about now because of what was just said about that. That's such, like, that's so big that really makes me wonder now. Let's get right into that. So, since we know there's a bunch of other countries, and now we know that all the countries have their own individual waves, that means these other countries have been just getting ravaged, completely decimated by these waves, while Melomark, this country that all four heroes are in, is just living up the good life. And I'm just like, wow. I knew the king was scummy, and I was on the edge of saying that he could be redeemable because he might just have a bad circumstance to be like he is. And like I said, he obviously cares about his daughters. So I was willing to forgive the king. But now seeing the true plot that was revealed now in this episode and how every country has a wave, now we truly get a glimpse at what type of person the king really is. And so let's talk about that. Why would a country, Melomark, the king, summon all four heroes in one country, even though every single country should at least have one hero? Well, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The king is greedy. That's number one, and he wants all the heroes to himself. Number two, he wants to allow the other lands to get destroyed for when the waves are done for his country. He could just walk right into other countries and claim their land. That's another thing you could factor in. And another little detail is that some that maybe pay a high price or beg, he might allow the hero to go to their country to help them out. That's a possibility. So they would have to pay a ransom to be able to even have a hero to help them. So the king is a straight up scumbag. Like, honestly, he's on a higher level than Myne. Myne's pretty bad, don't get me wrong. But after seeing the main details here and why the heroes were summoned or all being in the same country now, it proves that the king is irredeemable. Because he legitimately summoned all four heroes in one country and just said, let everybody else just die. Because think about this. We have seen what has happened to towns when the heroes arrive late to the party. We have seen what happens. So you gotta imagine what happens to the other countries that never have a hero arrive. So yeah, it puts in perspective on how wicked Melomark really is as a country. So the question I have now is why hasn't any of these other countries contacted our heroes? The only thing I could assume is that the other countries are in just such dire circumstances right now, like they're getting just demolished by the waves, that they just do not have the time to be able to communicate with the heroes or even get and talk with them. And there's also a possibility that information of the heroes being summoned in Melomark might not have left the kingdom's borders because, you know, they might have a hush order or something on all the soldiers and everybody where they can't leave the country or something. We don't really know the nitty-gritty details behind the scenes. So there's just so many things here now to really consider, and you're just like, wow, really? You summon all four heroes to be greedy like this. You throw Naofumi under the bus. And now we found out why these waves are getting harder for our heroes and they're not really able to defeat them. Let's get into that one. So, if you remember from episode 1, it was stated that the heroes could not party together. That was a big point of why Naofumi was just pretty much left out of the equation and left to fend for himself, and why it was really messed up. And it was, like I said, stated that heroes could not party up. They couldn't be in the same area to, gain EXP. And now that we know about the other countries having their own individual wave, it makes sense now why our characters are getting weaker or under-leveled compared to these waves. Because when they're fighting in these waves in the same area, they are not gaining any EXP. And so hypothetically, if each individual country is supposed to have their own hero, that means, let's say, 4 waves, that would mean that these individual heroes would get their own EXP with their party. But if all 4 heroes are on the same wave, nobody's getting EXP, or they're getting a decrease in EXP. So yeah, that's not good either. So there's an EXP issue. There's an issue to where these characters are not being able to fully mature and grow, because if you've played any RPGs, MMOs, you know for a fact traveling in your starting location is very important for certain skills you learn throughout a series, or like a game or whatever. You know, like, let's take different MMOs that have it to where you start off with a certain area, and you might have a chance of learning these certain set abilities of healing magic that you would never be able to learn in this other place. For instance, let's say Mellowmark, for instance. They would teach, let's say, fire magic instead of healing magic. That's the point, is that our characters being all in one region, in one nation, makes it to where their, capabilities are being limited. They're not being able to gain knowledge throughout the entirety of the world to put in and fight back against the waves. So yeah, it's just all around bad. Like, what this country has done, Mellowmark has done, has been very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. It's not just the fact that they have all 4 heroes, it's the fact that with them willingly starting problems with the shield hero, it makes it to where it's not really possible to probably do what they might want to do. Like, take control of the entirety of this world because they have the power of all the heroes. They kind of messed up their own selves. It was their own faith in, like, the 3 hero system without the, the shield that resulted in it. And I do believe at the end of the day, the reason why it's become such an issue now is because Naofumi was never supposed to get as far as he did. He was never supposed to be as big of a name as he is now, making, headlines and stuff throughout, the masses. He was never supposed to do that. And I think that's why he's become such an issue, why they're trying to frame him and kind of kill him off, because now they can't sweep him under the rug. He's just too big of a name now. So, yeah, I just think there's just so many things right now that I just need to take a moment to think about, because, whoa, like, I cannot believe the king right now. He is so much worse than Myne. But okay, let's talk about Fito. I think that's her name. We have a new character introduced, and she is the original, or the main queen of the Philos. For instance, the Chocobos that we see throughout this series. And wow, that character, Fito, she's strong. Like, she annihilated that T-Rex, that CGI T-Rex, in, like, one attack. Like, she quick attacked the man, it was over. And I'm just like, whoa, like, whoa. She wiped that T-Rex out like nothing. It was like the Maiwa Mo Shinderu. That's exactly what she did. And I have to say, with what she said at the end of Naofumi, it's pretty scary. Because she's like, well, if the 4 heroes are going to work together, then I make it my mission to eradicate all 4 heroes and just do a complete reset. Remember what was stated a while back? Is that for new heroes to be summoned, all the current 4 heroes need to die. Or complete the waves and go back to their country. It's either or. And so, her wanting to wipe out all the heroes is basically her saying, well, if this group of heroes isn't going to work, then we're going to start completely over. We're going to start over and begin from the very beginning. Which I think is actually a bad idea. Because if, let's just hypothetically, I know it's not going to happen, but hypothetically, let's say Fito is able to wipe out all the heroes, that would be very bad. And the reason for that would be because the heroes would start at level 1. And since we're already like 3 waves into this mess, they would be so underleveled that they would not be able to even encounter and fight wave 3. It would not be possible whatsoever. So I don't think a reset is definitely a good idea. They're already underleveled enough as is. They cannot be getting a complete reset. The heroes, at the very least the title of heroes, should not be getting a reset. So that is definitely not a good option. However, though, I understand where Fito's coming from. If this group of heroes won't work, well, the only option available is to just reset it. So yeah, it's a good episode. It's a really good episode. I do like what this episode did. I love the introduction of Fito and finding out a little bit more about how Philo came about and how it takes a hero to raise, her, like this type of creature, to have a queen of the Philos spawn. So it's nice. I love, these little details we got throughout this episode. A lot of world building. So I think that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.